Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for January the 18th through the 24th, 2021. Welcome, everyone. Before we begin, I'd just like to, first of all, highlight the new tarot deck that we will be using. It is the Shimmering Veil Tarot by Sela Conway. And this has become one of my favorite decks. So just some things about the deck. You won't see titles written on it, the card. This is all original artwork. And so she has these little symbols. So the major arcana, there's this sort of lemniscate kind of like figure to represent the majors, and then the number above it in the bottom right hand corner. And then all of the suits have are elementals, and she just has symbols like fire, a fire drawn symbol, a circle for the pentacles, water symbol for cups, and clouds for air, swords. So and one additional change would be knights, would be warriors in this deck. So it's a very sort of intuitive deck in that regard. Very beautiful. The beings in the deck are what I like to mean like shimmering ones from beyond the veil. So you'll see some interesting characters, or I don't want to call them characters, but archetypes, personas throughout the deck. Some will appear human, but in some ways they all appear as though they're from beyond the veil. So, all right. So just to let you also be aware, if you haven't subscribed and you're a new subscriber and you're watching for the first time, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe so that you're aware of all the notifications that come up on my channel, and also to like the video at the end if you have really felt inspired and enjoyed it. The other thing is I'm working on an annual, a year reading. So just be on the lookout for that. I may do it after I complete this one. So I've been preparing for something. I'm going to put that out there and see how it goes this year. And then the monthly angel scopes have gone out on the channel, and really enjoy hearing people's feedback and how these things are interacting with you. So if you've watched or you haven't watched, leave a comment so I can hear about how the readings unfold for you. But if you are not aware of them, you haven't seen them yet, they're up on my channel. Also, the daily card messages, I've resumed them starting in the middle of last week. So we'll be continuing with this deck for those messages. I've already posted some that should come out tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that as well. And finally, if you haven't been aware that since the pandemic, I've been offering my half-hour reading for $77 for 1 full hour as a special offer to you. So this is continuing for the month of January. So if you'd like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my webpage, theangelschool.com. That link is below. And you would click on, it's on the services page. That link should take you directly there. And you would just click on the half-hour reading as is. There are no restrictions. So if you've had a reading before, or if you want another one, with the special offer, it's available to you, as this might help offset some of the imbalances in our economy right now. So if that's what would help you, is my gift to you to use. And you would just click on the offer of the angel reading half hour as is. Within 24 hours on the first business day, I will send you a confirmation email noting the special offer, and it will also come with the instructions. So to submit your availability. So I know there's something on my website, and I gotta just take it off because it doesn't work. So just wait for the confirmation email, and then you'll be able to submit your availability. All right, so, and there are other links below to my Facebook page where I write the daily card messages. They're written here on Facebook, on YouTube as well. And there's my Twitter account below as well. All right, so let's, forgot my mic. Put that back on. All right, so let's take a deep breath together. And really just connect in with your I am presence. And the unicorns are surrounding you. So just be aware of their energy. You might feel it or sense it or see it. Or you may feel this white glow of lights around you, energy moving around you. And just give them the opportunity as you take a deep breath to set ablaze your aura, your energy with their divine light and inspiration and peace, clarity. If you've been feeling sort of blocked or in any way, they can help you to clear those blocks. If you just release what you're holding, the worry and the fear in your heart. The angelic realm can only assist you when you give up the worry, the fear, the manipulation. When we're actually manipulating when we worry. It's really just as bold as that. It sounds harsh, but it's just what it is. And we've got to understand that, sometimes some of us worry as if it's a noble thing to do. And it's the total opposite, because you're not allowing, first of all, you're resisting the change, the opportunities that the universe is working through you. So the only reason that we're afraid is because we don't know what to do. And in that moment, when you don't know what to do, that's the moment to surrender, to release, and allow for something fresh, something new. So when you're blocked, if you're writing or doing, you're working on a project and you're stuck, it's because you no longer need to do what you're doing the way you're doing it. There is a new possibility that's trying to enter. The universe doesn't cut you off, but it does move in different directions. It opens up other avenues and paths for you to follow. And what you don't do is keep up. Instead, what you do is you dig in, but you can't see that you're doing that. And they just wrote the angel number 3, but I'm just sensing it more as a numerology, in the sense that right at that moment where you feel you're stuck or you have creative block, that's the actual moment of expansion. When you are giving birth to new ideas, to new opportunities, to other alternatives. And I don't know, I'm seeing a unicorn, a mother unicorn with a baby unicorn. And I'm getting a sense that this might be the case for some of you who are trying to get pregnant, that you are not allowing, you're tensing up and you're worrying so much that you're just not allowing for the relaxation. You're not trusting and allowing the universe to create this expansion within you. It's not just you, but it's also the child, right? And the lessons and what they need, and what they, so there's a whole, it's just bigger than ourselves and our own interests. And just know that, when we worry, the universe wants for you that which you desire just as much as you do. You're trying to get pregnant, the child wants what you want just as much as you do. But we also have to remember that every being has their purpose and their lessons and their terms that they want to come in. I mean, that this is setting up sort of their life pattern and lessons. So we really have to step back. And as much as we want everything to be perfect for them, and we want our bodies to be perfect, and we blame our bodies, it's really about their intention for this lifetime. And some babies set really powerful lessons right at the beginning. And even though it might be a difficult pregnancy, or it may not be a full-term pregnancy, that is still that soul's journey and choice. So don't worry about, and this applies to everything. Don't worry about, don't try to control all of the parameters of the situation. Remember, it's a team that you're working with. This is a co-creative process. So, but this is a really, they're showing me sort of a phallic symbol. So that's my symbol for manifestation. So this is, they want you to have faith, and they're just giving me the sense that this is a really profound time for giving birth, not only to a child, but to anything else in your life. But they're asking you to have faith, and not to focus on the lack, and not to focus on your pain or your struggles from the past, but to really trust that, don't link things together. So don't say, oh, this happened before and now it's going to happen again, because every situation is unique, meaning that what's unfolding is new. And don't link it so that you bring this tension with you, and create this unnecessary worry that just resonates through your body. Okay, so let's take a look, because the unicorns are just really, they're sort of like grazing. And it's this feeling that, we just need to relax. And it reminds me of the parable of, I'm not going to be able to say it correctly, but it's this idea that, that God feeds the birds, and he clothes the fields with grass. And if he does that for them, why would he not do the same for you in terms of fulfilling your needs and your prayers? So, there is this automatic, the thing is, when you emit a desire, there is built within the universe an automatic response to fulfill it. That's really the law of attraction. And they just wrote the word alignment. And for us, it's about being in alignment with that. And being in alignment doesn't have to be work. If we worry less, if we manipulate less, because that's what worry is about, we're not accepting the what is, and instead we're trying to manipulate beyond our capacity to do so, to fix something. We have to really allow for that miracle. And that miracle is an act of love. It's that automatic, response from the universe to every desire you have, and its ability to weave the outcome and the process that is the best design for all parties. All parties. So whether you're working with other people, whether it's pregnancy, there's always parties involved. And because we can't see really well from every party's perspective or understand from every party's perspective because of our ego, which keeps us so focused and driven on our own interest, that this is why we panic, and this is why we fear, and this is why we worry. Because we no longer have the full picture. When we're in spirit form, when we're not in our bodies, there is no separation. It's all oneness. It's a network. And that network, what is felt at one end of the network is felt at every point within the network equally. And because we're in these bodies and our consciousness sees the self and sees individuations everywhere, and this idea that we're separate, and then we fear that we're alone in what we're going through, and this creates this knee-jerk reaction to want to fix, to manipulate, and not to perceive, forgot the word, but not to perceive the team. That's not the word that I said before, but you know what I mean. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at the messages from the archangels. Relationship harmony. So this is Archangel Raguel. And the message on the card says, "We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved." That's similar to the word I was trying to remember, that there's just the different parties that are involved, right? Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. So this is Archangel Raguel's name means the friend of God. So this is telling us in this week that we're going to really be focused on relationships. There's some things that we have to work out. They keep writing this word competition, and they wrote it before I began. And I remember them writing competition and comparison. As soon as you compare yourself to others from that ego perspective of separation, then it's automatic that everything is a competition, and you may not even realize that. But think about the idea of what one does and they're writing oxygen. We need to breathe a lot this week. We really need to breathe, to remember to breathe, to call in. When you breathe, you automatically call in the higher frequencies. You call in the company of heaven. You call it in spirit, the divine wisdom. So that you're not comparing and you're not reacting in a competitive way. Because competition is, the idea of it is separation. You are, you're trying to get over on another person. They are your opposition, and you have to protect, and you have to, this whole idea of collaboration and sharing and networking is not as pure as it should be. It is not as peaceful in your heart the experience in your heart is not as peaceful. So don't try to see people. And I know it's hard with everything that's going on in our world, and we've got to build back trust amongst each other. The divisions that have been sown, we allowed others to sow them in our minds, right? And as we focus so much on, opposing sides and all that kind of stuff, right? As we focus on this, we keep emphasizing the divide. And we need to apply compassion. We need to think more compassionately. We need to ask ourselves, what would make someone sort of, and I just want to make it sort of simple, like just, like you can tell somebody's having a bad day, right? And what would you want for someone? How would you want someone to treat you or to respond to you when you're having a bad day? So with that kind of logic or thought process, you sort of soften the energy. And I just saw a word that they wanted you to hear, and it's perfect. I forgot it. It's sort of to soften that competitive edge, to sort of bring this alignment. When we're competitive in this way, or when we're seeing each other as unopposing sides, we don't see that network of oneness. And what we're taking away from ourselves is the ability to even trust our own judgment. Because if you distrust others, and I know this is a little wonky right now, but just go with me. Because the premise is, I'm talking in general, and I'm talking about the law of attraction. So that, like, if I get really worked up that I can't trust people on the other side, then the law of attraction isn't going to sit through and sift out what you mean by that. It only responds to how you feel about all of that. And that feeling becomes this new intention that you didn't volunteer. Meaning it was involuntary, but the thing about it is it's still a point of attraction now. So now what you're vibrating is a lack of trust. And that will also be for you. Because the thing about it is, you may not think that you created it because you didn't start it, or the scene didn't start from within you. But your interpretation and the way you digest and process it, you brought that energy into yourself. It's like throwing a pebble right into the water and it ripples. And I'll never forget, I did this with this. I was doing a behavior modification with a class in a public school. I was doing music, integrating music and literacy. But when I went in, this was a behavior modification class, and they had a lot of behavior issues, and I felt like I couldn't teach the literacy until I did a lesson with music, and I did. And when I talked about this pebble in the water, and and just showing them how their actions ripple out. But one kid pointed out, but oh my goodness, but when you do that, you're right in the center because you're the cause, right? So everything is rippling out from you, and whatever you put out there, you're smack dead in the middle of it. And that was so insightful for they were 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. And so it's what I'm trying to say to you, because we've been so divisive over, for many years, but especially it's reached its peak, then we're smack dead in the middle of this distrust, this energy, because we've been talking about it and we've been feeling all kind of things about it, or as they say, feeling all kinds of ways about it. So it's important for you to understand that that will create this is all about that energy of comparison and competition, because you get caught up into sides, and the result of that divisiveness becomes your pool, your energy pool, and what you start to attract to you, and you're gonna have this lack of trust within yourself because you're practicing it all around you. So really try to tap into being compassionate, and how would you want to be treated with understanding, right? And that will create a practice. That attempt will create a practice of love and understanding, compassion, not only for them but for yourself. And that's when those divides can begin to heal. So the relationship harmony, it's not just about this you versus me, but relationship harmony starts with you and ripples out. So the way you see things and see people, despite what they're doing and how hard it is for you to understand, but remember, that's the whole point. You will never be able to understand because you're coming from the perspective of I. In the life review process, when people cross over, they go through, let's say, take one event, and they will see it through everyone's eyes. That's how the forgiveness happens, the healing process happens, and they're able to move on through the review process, because all the pieces that were missing are now fully realized or fully seen and viewed. And that's how you can go, oh, wow. And so that's why we will never be as accurate about what we're experiencing, because we only have our point of view. And being righteous about your own point of view, that's why it creates pain for you. Because even though from your I, it is correct, it's fact, but you don't have the other I's, the we. And so whenever you're thinking I instead of we, you're going to create discord. All right, so let's take a look at the first card. And this card happens to be the Devil card. And I like to call this ego, since they're not labeled. And it's just all of this shadow energy. But even here, you see just a little bit of light, right? So the thing is that I feel like we don't want to, in this week, don't fall into those traps, right? When you feel like, when don't say, oh, this person, don't blame or accuse a person for having put you in a situation. Don't affirm that over and over again, because as you're doing that, you are doing just that. You're affirming it, and the emotional connection with that causes it to become this vibration, and you can't get out of it because you are actually adding to it. You're increasing the intensity of it. So don't give anyone power over you by blaming them, like we blame the devil. Like, there are people who blame the devil for everything. And it's not coming from outside of us, it's from within. And it's because we don't have the complete picture. This is what causes us to be sort of stuck. It's the same thing with addictions, and the reason people do things, they don't have the full picture of the story behind the pain that they're nursing and then trying to stuff away. Okay, just think about that. Something has created pain for you that it's so horrific that then you try to numb it out, and now you're trapped and hooked on something. And it could be food, it can be spending, but the idea is that we're holding ourselves back. We're tethered to a past event that we don't really have the full picture of. You only have your point of view, and as right as it feels, just remember, you still don't have all of the frames, the facets. Think of it as a sphere, and there's all these frames, and there's like different eyes seeing that event with you in it. And you don't have that perspective. So what you are remembering is only as accurate as your point of view, but not accurate to your soul's full point of view. Your soul was observing the entirety of it from all the different possibilities to view it. And you are not connected to that because we're busily day in and out comparing ourselves, creating this energy of competition, which creates this energy of separation, the idea of separation, that creates this divisiveness of them versus those and all of that kind of stuff, that we get caught up and trapped in this, sort of isolation of distrust and fear. All right. So just be open-minded at the beginning of the week. Okay, be open-minded. Reach beyond the limits of your normal perceptions and perspectives and beliefs. Let's take a look at this card. And this is the Seven of Pentacles. So this tells me that whatever it is in terms of the relationship, something that needs to be worked out, it's going to take a little time. It's going to take some investment of your energy and your time. And it's interesting that this card, she has this beautiful sort of this horizon, the sun, and this, grassy field. It just looks like, this time of harvest, but you got to wait for the right time. But the potential in the distance, the sun is a symbol of success, all right, and growth. So this is a situation that, yes, it's worth your. I feel like I'm hearing somebody say, but is it worth my time? And the answer is yes. There are many opportunities, and the Seven of Pentacles is sort of like this slow, long-term investment. So it's like you're gonna have to. It's like the knight, right? It's like he's like slow and steady wins the race. So it's this, taking your time, building the relationships, investing in it, and then the payoff is something unexpected. So the opportunities are unexpected. So, if it's some kind of relationship, it's worth the payoff. So that means that you've got to open up your mind. You've got to let go of this I perspective and start really thinking about what it means when we say we. Start thinking like team. Start thinking about equal responsibility. Yes, like I allowed myself to be triggered because this is something from the past. I allowed that to interfere in this present opportunity, for an example. So that's what I mean by we all need to have equal responsibility. We need to be willing to step back. We need to be willing to listen. We need to be willing to, just explore and experiment and learn something else about a person, or look at another aspect of them. Give that aspect of them that you admire more of your attention, if not all of your attention, to bring out that quality within them. I've seen it happen so many times over my lifetime that, you're dealing with someone who's difficult, and if you focus on that part of them that you genuinely admire, who doesn't want to have someone acknowledge, them in some way and not want to respond to it. Of course, yeah, there's some toughies, but this situation seems like this is one that's worth investing in. Okay. All right. And we have the King of Water, the King of Cups. So this really indicates that, the King of Cups is sort of the stabilizing archetype of, smooth relationships, not letting himself get sort of overly emotional. His emotions are stable, like all the kings. They kind of represent that power, authority, stability. So that this is a situation where this is like the King of Cups is someone everybody can trust, everybody can talk to, right? So this could be you or the situation, right? That in time, if you invest, that you'll discover that this is a relationship that is one that you can trust, that is one that has lots of opportunities and wisdom and beautiful, powerful lessons for you. So don't let your emotions get the best of you. Try to really focus on the things that you like about someone so that you can connect with them, that you can relate to them. And again, it's this idea of compassion, right? And not judging, not seeing someone, not comparing. And the judgment seems to be triggered by comparisons. And then it just you flow into this competitiveness if you really understand it the way they're trying to present it today. Hopefully I'm getting that across. So it's a way that you can avoid these traps, basically, in pitfalls in relationships, where what ends up happening is that we end up bringing out the worst in the situation in ourselves, rather than the best, the stable, the most loving aspects of ourselves, right? Okay. So it also feels like we, just looking at these two cards, I'm going to put this one out. Oh, well, this is look at that, the Two of Cups. So this is the card of balance and harmony, and it has the rainbow just like it did in Archangel Raguel's card. So this is telling us that that things will go smoothly. I feel like, we've been watching a lot of contention on the political stage, and we're very, on high alert, and, there's a lot of tension since the events of the 6th. So this might be an indication that, not that things are that the tensions are going to go away or be resolved, but it might be that that things will get better, that things will be okay, and that we have a lot to work on. It will be worth it, kind of thing. And for you to focus on your friendships, focus on your loved ones, and loving them, being compassionate with each other this week. These actions, remember, because we are a part of the network of oneness. If we all do these things, we all feel it. We just don't know it. Just like we've been feeling tensed and a lot of things. And there's a lot that we need to let go. They just wrote the word released. Okay, so they wrote that in the past tense. So I think some things have been released, and Archangel Raphael is coming through, and he's working in terms of healing our hearts. You can call upon him to heal the language that you use. So if you really want help, Archangel Raguel and Archangel Raphael together bring that healing of relationships. And they're saying to you to call on them to to place language in your heart. Now, you might hear words in your mind, but you might feel it more as a vibration or a certain frequency, a feeling of love. I would call it the channel of love, channeling the love. And those words will come, let your words come out of that vibration, that frequency, that content of love. So we have a responsibility, they say, to really focus, center in our hearts and express ourselves from this place. And your heart has the divine healing, the words of divine healing, the compassion to help smooth over any conflict and to sow harmony, to sow unity. So be extra protective of your loved ones in that you envelop them with love and kindness and just love everybody to death in this week. And this will make such a powerful contribution. It will make an energetic statement to the collective. And everyone within the collective is going to receive that. And those around you, it will become contagious, right? So you have this ability to create harmony within yourself and within your surroundings and for the entire world. This is what we can all do to help stabilize the discord that we've been experiencing. And don't worry about what other people are doing, if they're doing it or not. You just keep doing what you know is best. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful week. God bless you.